It is at the top. Where's Mike? Oh, there
There
you
he
are.
is.
Okay. All right, guys. I got stress of being a student. Yay. So, stress of being a student is stress causes and management of overwhelming feelings. I think I just hit the button to make it go, right? How do I make it
Yeah.
there? Okay. Okay. Says 49.3%. How do I get you guys out of my screen though? How do I make you guys go to the top or something?
I'm
Huh.
not sure about that.
Okay, that'll work. This one right here will work. I just got to move you so then you're off my screen so I can read it. Okay. Okay, these are just some statistics that I pulled up. 49.3% of college students experience moderate levels of stress. 1 year after the coronavirus outbreak, 4 out of 5 students are still stressed out. With 63%, video chats are the primary tool for students to cope with stress. 31% of students say exams and midterms are the most significant source of stress. 64.5% of college students with relationship problems feel stressed because of them. Yay, nope. 33% of college students consider leaving college because of financial problems. Financial problems are a source of stress for 74% of college students. And 39.1% of US college students feel well rested for only 1 or 2 days a week. How do you guys feel about those?
Right on point. With
I
the
think so
rest
too.
and the financial worries. And yeah, those two right on point for me anyway.
Me also.
I wish I felt rested for 2 days a week.
I don't even get that.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I wish for it.
Okay, on to the next slide. Okay. Do you believe that there's an American Institute for Stress? Okay, the American Institute of Stress, AIS, said that incoming freshmen are becoming increasingly more aware of the stress college brings because of the rigorous application process. Despite this awareness, these students are not necessarily given healthy coping methods for managing stress because a lot of us don't get coping methods. Students are not getting nearly enough sleep because of the amount of pressure put on their shoulders. They report that 8 in 10 college students experience frequent stress. Let's see. First-time students being away from home. These are reasons for stress. First-time students being away from home for the first time. Having to make all new friends due to a new environment, and that's because kids have their high school friends, and then when they go off to college, they go to a different state, they get accepted into different, different areas, and they have to go in and don't know nobody. Students tend to isolate themselves for fear of rejection, which a lot of people do. They don't want to be, thought of as icky or people not like them, so they just stick to themselves. Students have to keep up with multiple courses that require extensive assignments. Okay, let's see. Competition between students is high, motivating them to stay up until the wee hours of the night, completing assignments they do not fall behind. Students have to work jobs to keep up with the expense because college is not cheap, even with grants and financial aid. Any of you think of anything about those? Can add any more reasons?
I don't feel the competition in this school. I'm just trying to graduate.
I can relate to the work and the jobs. I'm sorry, the school, going to school and having a full-time job. I can relate to that. And then I think those two make assignments more difficult. I don't think it's a lot of work, but all of it together is difficult.
Yeah, the time management when you have to work and go to school and do assignments, and because the college we're in, master's program, you have to put more thinking and writing into it. It's
Mhm,
not as easy as it was when you were in your AA degree.
mhm.
Chandlin, what do you think?
I don't really relate to the competition between students. And I really don't relate to the working. I mean, I have to work, obviously, but the job that I had within home health was a blessing. I literally worked like 14 hours a week, and that made up for like all the bills in my house. My husband was injured for a year. Like, I was fortunate, and now I'm doing full time. So I don't really stress on the loans because I know it's going to get paid.
I think that the first half of this is, I wanted to do it on two different levels. One was just college students, from 18 to up. And then the other half gets into the older, over 40, college students over 40, the differences of stress on them. So when we get to the back half of this, it'll have the over 40, where we have calming issues because we know things are going to get paid, blah, blah, blah. But like kids that are new to this, not having any financial means or anything like that, they stress over how they're going to pay these loans, and some of them don't have any parent help, so they got to do it themselves, and it can be a stressor, whether they're going to pay for it or not, or they're going to get so many grants but not enough money to cover it. I mean, it all depends on what school they go to.
Yeah.
So these are basically for like 18 to and up. So I don't consider that they relate to us because we're the older generation going to school. So we have a lot of different things like children and so forth on down the line that falls into our stressors, managing our husbands, our kids, and so that's in the other half of the power or PowerPoint here, So then I had to throw in funny things too. So I got a little SpongeBob there. Have you ever been so stressed that relaxing makes you more stressed because you're not working on what's making you stressed? Hey, sorry guys, my little 5-pounder is going crazy. Sorry about that. My little guy's going nuts. But I thought SpongeBob was cute, so. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very true. You're so stressed on the stuff that's making you stressed that you stress out more. Yes. Okay.
I agree.
The American Institute for Stress has these as solutions. The rising stress rate in college students reveals the absolute need for mental health and counseling services on campus. Many campuses offer these services, but are struggling to keep up with the increasing rate of students coming in the door. They don't have enough counselors. And when they do, they don't have them open at night when people can go, and they're only open during the day. So it doesn't give a lot of options for people that are on nights or taking courses at night.
Yeah.
But then it says it is essential to take these matters seriously because 80% of students report feeling stressed sometimes or often, and 34% report having feelings of depression, as reported by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. So everything I looked at said that most of it was related to your mental health, and they needed something to help them. And basically the younger kids have a better chance because they go during the day because they don't really have to have jobs and but for us over 40, we work jobs and we don't have that at night, and people think that we'll automatically go out to get help when we don't, Okay, let's see. Oh, I had another little funny. This is my stress level. It's usually high. And then physical signs of stress were headache, neck and shoulder pain, back pain, upset stomach, lump in the throat, heavy chest, tight muscles, and not feeling hungry. So you can make yourself physically sick by stressing, There's a lot of things, as you see on that little guy, 10% human, 90% stress. That's me most of the time. But you look after your body. You got to get enough sleep. You got to exercise. You got to stay connected to people because you can't isolate yourself. And you eat a healthy diet and avoid alcohol because alcohol is a depressant. Anybody feel like this guy?
My stress doesn't take away my appetite.
Nope. That's
No,
because you're from Jersey. Jersey people eat. Mine takes away my appetite. I don't get hungry. What about you, Shonda? Shonda's being awful quiet today. What's up with that?
I have some current stresses actually going on. I don't know, I guess it doesn't affect my appetite unless it's eating more. And like lately we just lost someone on our team.
You
A
remember you
lady
telling me?
actually that was like my mentor and my office neighbor. She passed away over the weekend, and
sorry to hear that.
yeah, it's just, and she leads like the adolescent group, which is ironically where we're at in our work. And I'm not prepared to step in and lead adolescents, but guess what? I'm gonna do it. So
Have
that's,
can
faith in
do it.
yourself. Have faith in yourself.
I don't like teenagers. I'm just gonna be honest. Like
Who does?
I'm gonna learn to figure it out as I go.
You're going to be wonderful.
Yes, I agree. Sorry
So
about
she's
the
that little
loss.
guy. She's 10% human.
Ew.
That's kids. 10% human, 90% we don't know what it is. Okay. The American Institute for Stress Solutions. These intense feelings have the potential to lead to destructive decisions. Having counselors available for students always is important to ensure student safety and aid in finding methods for dealing with stress. Because one of the things is student suicides that I read. I don't know if I put it in the PowerPoint, but there are quite a bit of student suicides because of the stress factor, and especially since coronavirus hit and they couldn't go face to face with people. So mental health things are they need more mental health facilities for these kids to talk to, because a lot of them don't have the money to be able to attend a therapy session. So campus is the only place that they got it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, possible solutions. Start developing your time management skills. Preparing in advance for exams and assignments can help you avoid feeling stressed. However, this doesn't have to take up too much time if you have deadlines or classes that need prioritizing. If you aim to manage your time and plan ahead, you'll still be on track even if you're battling bouts of procrastination, which is me. I procrastinate. Managing expectations. Our expectations can cause us a great deal of stress. It's easy to slip into competitive and unhealthy mindsets in an academic environment. You might feel that you must get good grades or do a multitude of extracurriculars to keep up with your friends. You can work on having more realistic expectations by trying to live in the moment, taking things day by day. This sets your focus to what you can achieve in the space of time. You'll feel accomplished more often instead of waiting for big achievements. See, this is where I think this falls more towards the younger kids, because yes, I am very stickler on my grades, so I shoot for an A every time and I get upset if I don't get one. But I don't compete with other kids. I don't, it's my own self competition. But as on extracurriculars and stuff like that, we're not worried about that for getting a job, because we already have a job. I mean, there's just, we don't really do those, where other kids will, because they want to get recognized, and have it look good on their resume. What do you guys think?
Back when I went to school, I wasn't concerned with grades. I wasn't concerned with competing with my classmates. I was concerned if I flunked out, they were gonna send me to Vietnam. So that was motivating factor. But I mean, I was in college in the early 70s, and I just think it was different, you know?
It was.
We weren't required to go to class. It was different back then.
Anybody
Yeah, I
else?
think there's some trade-offs where when you're older, you're more, well, most of the time, you're more focused and you're more time oriented that you have to get it done. But when you're younger, you're not really always serious about it, and it's easy to drop out or not put all of your effort into it.
I think that instead of like extracurriculars, the way I think about that as being an adult is if like you're serving in your church or, you know, volunteering, like where the agency I work at, you know, like they have like a suicide walk once a year, and it's up to, you know, the staff to volunteer that Saturday to go in. So I kind of think in terms of serving as those extracurricular activities when you're a bit older, and then also you can bite off more than you can chew in that area. I know that when I started working this job full time and then also being in my master's program, like I stepped down from leadership in my church and leadership at like Celebrate Recovery just to accommodate that schedule, so I wouldn't be taking off more than I could handle.
Oh, that's a shame because Celebrate Recovery is really nice. I like it.
We got a really good team, so like my husband and I, we started the Celebration Place area. That's where we led. And I know that there's someone that can like pick up that area, and then we're hosting like our regional P8 rally this year. So I'll lean in and volunteer there, but I didn't want to sign the covenant for a year and then fall under, like I can still lead, but just I can be kind of free floating when I lead, and I just didn't want to sign a covenant and then fall through on it.
Yeah, you didn't
And-
want to put something in writing and then not be able to do it.
Right. Like I hate committing to something and then being like, oh, I guess I can't do that. So I kind of just tried to prepare for that, because I can't go to the college and be like, oh, I guess I can't take that class. I got too much going on. Because that costs a lot of money when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got bills from quitting school twice, so I'm not gonna be in that boat again.
Oh, I got that when I asked to take off halfway through this class. I would have owed all kinds of money, so I'm still doing it. That's why I'm still here. But
Right.
I am taking off after this for like 2 months, you know, especially now that my boyfriend wrecked his motorcycle and now has a cast on his foot and is having surgery tomorrow. So yay. So I've been running from San Pedro back here. So it's a little time management, not very good. Okay. So next one. Be kind to yourself. It's important to be kind to yourself. Your best is good enough. Take some time to acknowledge your accomplishments and positive qualities. Talking about expectations can help when dealing with social expectations that are out of your control. Having a conversation with a family member or colleague might reveal that they're not holding you to the high expectations you have in mind. Or you might realize your friends also feel pressured to achieve unrealistically. So basically that's give yourself a break. You don't have to make that A. Like I always think I have to make an A. Yeah, I can do my best, you know, but then other people are just as stressed as you when you actually talk to your peoples and that are in class with you and stuff, like talking to you guys. I find out that you're just as stressed, that you have to time management things, that you have to give up some things that you really want to do because you are in school and you're doing all, and there's just not enough of you to go around. I'm finding that one very difficult for me to say no to a lot of things, but I'm having to learn to do that because there's not enough of me to go around. And sometimes I have to take time off just to keep my sanity. So what do you think?
Under the headline of possible solutions, I believe that, and I don't do it, but I've studied it and I've been to places that talked about it all the time, and I think that diaphragmatic breathing is one of the solutions to all of this. And I don't do it. I realize that it's a solution and I don't do it. But I wanted to just to throw that out because it's the studies show it's so good against stress and depression.
It's hard to breathe, believe it or not. If you ever really try it, it's really hard to sit there and do what they want you to do and breathe, because I've tried it, and it's like you feel weird doing it, and then it's just really hard to inhale and hold and exhale. But after a while, you get used to it. It's like meditating. I couldn't meditate until recently, but that's a really good way to bring your stress level down, is to meditate. Where's my Robin?
Oh, wow. I don't know what to say. Today's Tuesday and I've had a very, very stressful week already, so far anyway. I think it's interesting that it tells us about stress and why we're stressed, and it tells us what to do, but it's like you don't have time to get enough sleep. I have trouble sleeping, period. So not only do I not get enough sleep because there's not a lot of time, but even when there is time, it's just not happening the way it used to. So just trying to figure out how to incorporate those things that you can in order to reduce the stress level, because some things you can't change.
Or you could be kind to yourself and do what I'm doing this next week.
Yes.
I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm going to be sitting on a beach, not caring.
Now
I still
that
got to
would
do
help.
homework, so I'll be zooming with you guys on from the boat. Yay!
Would help a little bit, just a little bit.
I'll show you. I'll give you a little view.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean? Are you stressed? I can't afford the luxury of being stressed. That's me, right there. That is me. We had to throw in some funnies, guys, because I didn't know what else to put in here. So
I like that idea.
yeah, well, I don't know if we're gonna reach the whole freaking 2 hours, so we're gonna have to talk a lot. This was a quickly put together thing because of my fiance. Okay, post-traditional learners, that is what they call us, over 40. We're called post-traditional learners.
Oh,
What are their challenges? Post-traditional learners, also known as non-traditional undergraduates, adult students, working learners, or 21st century students, are over 25, work full-time, are financially independent, or relate to the military. So we are called post-traditional learners. Okay. These students have unique challenges. Some are returning to college after decades of working or raising a family, which can be daunting. College can be quite an adjustment as they get used to being a student again. They tend to see themselves as more serious and focused than traditional age students and may struggle to relate to them. Additionally, some post-traditional learners may be older than their professors or instructors. These students may also worry about being behind the curve with technology. Hey, no. Especially when they look at the 18-year-old sitting beside them who seems so technologically adept. Anybody feel like that?
I do. Actually, I don't even know how to do this, how you're flipping through all these cards. I'm gonna have to learn it before my last week. I have no idea where to even start.
Click on PowerPoint. It's Microsoft PowerPoint.
Okay, I've done PowerPoint, but how do you get it into here?
You just share your screen. You have it up on your screen and you just share it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's not a
big help.
difficult, as long as you got it pulled up on your screen in a different window, we can share screen and it'll show whatever's on your screen. So that's how you do it.
Because I've been stressing over there.
Well, we'll help you.
yeah.
Outside
Okay.
us, it will help. We're technically logically challenged too, but we know a few things. What about you, Shonda? My Shonda?
I think that I definitely can relate to that because I don't consider myself to be like technologically enhanced in any way. But I am fortunate that my husband is. So when it comes to like not knowing how to work things or use certain programs, he can help a little, unless it's like designing pamphlets and stuff like that, then he's a little less or a little more apprehensive to help. But like when I first started, it was a lot of anxiety that tied in with, learning the new platform. And then when I mastered the platform, they changed to Halo. And then I was really mad because I really had just mastered the one I started on after, 3-4 years. So now it's kind of, I don't know it very well now, but I guess I'm learning. So
Yeah, I remember when I learned how to text for the first time. My daughter, when she was like 15, taught me how. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I had to teach my ex-husband how to use something besides a flip phone because he never used a smartphone.
right.
Yeah, it's crazy. He still don't know how to open a file on email. Okay, it is vital that post-traditional learners feel supported by and connected to campus resources. Do not assume that because post-traditional learners are adults, that they have the agency to seek help for mental health or recognize when they need it. Listen carefully to post-traditional learners' needs and struggles and validate their concerns as they juggle multiple roles and responsibilities outside of being a student. Consider modifying hours of services and programs to cater to the evening and weekend times that post-traditional learners are on campus. I think that would be a great idea, is if they cater to us that have to be there at night, because other kids, they get to go and they get to go home to their mom or in their mother's house. They don't have to work, they don't have to juggle families, they don't have to do any of that. So we probably stress more than they do. And we should have more access to the mental health therapy and all that, but it closes down after the day shift. They don't have it open at night, which I think they should.
Gotta be a money issue.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
they
always
certainly
is. It's
have
always
people
money.
willing to do it. They got graduate students.
It's always money. Always comes
Yeah,
down to money.
I would think anybody that's graduating from graduate school would be more than willing to take on a job.
Yep. Invite counseling center staff to provide consultative meetings or trainings for faculty and staff who interact with post-traditional students on identifying and intervening in high-risk cases or dealing with the student resistant to services. So yeah, we're older, but we're gonna say, nah, we don't need it. We're good. But use your on-campus counseling centers, care team, or behavioral interventions teams to follow up with students in need of services. If you have a counseling center, consider providing support groups for post-traditional students, which can help them develop a better sense of belonging and reduce their stress levels. Because we are older, and we are older than some of our teachers, that's weird having a teacher that's like younger than you, but it's hard for me, it was hard to learn from somebody who was 20. It was just difficult. It's like, you don't know jack, but don't know nothing about life. Book learning, but you don't know nothing about life. But there's a lot of us older ones that need help, and we won't ask for it. We just were taught that it's not okay to ask for help. You can't have mental problems, so I don't know what you guys think about those, but
I grew up that way, being taught that, not necessarily it being communicated to me, but just hearing the vibe and hearing what's being said. It's like an unspoken thing. But I think I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by a lot of different cultures, not just my own. And I think in doing so, it opened my eyes to that it's okay if you need help to ask for help, and you get to decide where you go for help and what kind of help you need. And it may work out and it may not, but I think I've always wanted to help people. So that made it a little easier for me to recognize that we're human, we all need help, and it's better to have it than to not and suffer.
All of my women in here, did you ever feel that you couldn't let people know that you were stressing because you didn't want the men to know? You couldn't seem weak? Anybody ever feel that? In my job, I have that because my job is working in an oil refinery, which I was the only girl on crew, and it's a male dominated role. So I would not let them know I couldn't do anything. I would bust my butt to make sure I could do it, and would not ask for help, even though I may have needed it. And that's probably why my body's all jacked up now. But I wouldn't do it because I couldn't let them know that I couldn't hang. I had to hang. I don't know if any of you feel that way in school, that you got to do it, and you can't let people know that you can't handle it all. Anybody else feel like that?
I gotta say one thing, if you're the only female, I find that hard to believe. I'm on a 9-member team.
Oh, you faded.
Only
What
male.
happened?
I'm with 8 females on my team and me.
I got
So,
12.
I just find that, what?
There's 12 in my crew, and I'm the only girl.
Wow. Did you
Mhm.
want to do that job, Tracy? Like, what made you want to do that job?
The money. And I've always been not a girl. I've always hung out with the guys. I mean, I waitressed as a truck driver place, so I could throw bull with everybody. So I've always hung out with men, but the money is very good, extremely good. So yeah, the money is so I could support my family. Yeah.
Uh,
What about you, Shonda? You ever feel like you have to hide stuff because you don't want people to think that you're weak?
As far as school's concerned, I felt like I had to be on time and I had to excel because I spent so many years not excelling. So like when I started getting decent grades in my first 2 classes, that's where I set the bar. So when I finished my bachelor's with a 3.9, then my master's had to be a 4.0. And thank God my husband's like realistic. So when at one point in time, I think I got a B and I was livid. And my husband's like, it's not that big of a deal. And I was pretty rough about it, but I think it was because of me. And it's weird as far as men are concerned. I'm pretty much every other week the only female in my house, including my dogs. My stepdaughter, she only comes over every other week. So like, I actually do think in terms of like just life, I carry a lot of the, I don't want to say weight, but kind of sometimes. And then thinking that, the mom role, because you wear 14 zillion different hats as a woman anyways, but then you incorporate being a parent and that's, a couple dozen more hats. Like, I think sometimes that I don't give myself enough grace. So like, I might not want to admit when I'm stressed out, but my husband reads it very well. Like, I apparently wear my emotions on my sleeve. I think I told you guys last week, I had one of the male counselors call me out on what I thought was RBF. And so it's just like, if I am doing it, I suck at it.
Okay, what is RBF?
Resting brat face.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't know brat, but okay.
Yeah, that's not the operative
Appropriate
word in
word.
the world. So
We gotta be
told
politically
me
correct.
when I said that, I said, well, this is natural. I'm always like this. He said, I don't assess RBF. And I was like, whoa, Okay, so there's that. But when I do try to carry those loads alone, I guess I just have my emotions on my sleeves, so people will automatically know if I'm under pressure.
Sonda, you remind me so much of me because I strove for my highest grade in my bachelor's too, but I only got a 3.7. But not a 3.9 like you, but I'm
Yeah,
shooting for a
I'm pretty
4.0 in this one also. So I'm very stickler. I'm harder on myself than anybody else. And it seems
Right.
like you are too.
Yeah,
You know,
very
you set our
much
bar
so.
high. Yep, you're
You know,
you're very much like me.
I have a son that's 21 that messaged me today and told me, "I'm very proud of you, Mom. You're breaking generational curses." And I was just thinking, well, somebody's watching, even if I don't think they listen.
Mhm,
So
they do. Very proud of you.
thank you. You guys are great.
Okay, where are we on the next one? Okay, where was I? Did I do this one already? Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Click. It doesn't want to click. Okay, there we go. Okay. Mine doesn't like to click on me. Okay. Offer a variety of workshops at varying times on topics related to adult learners, such as managing stress, parenting, sharpening study skills, and succeeding in college while balancing multiple responsibilities. Be prepared with professional mental health resources to make referrals as needed, including to mental health crisis lines. They should have those up. Try to avoid problem solving for students who do not ask for it. Discuss options and allow them to make their own decisions. Because sometimes they'll push it on you. If they feel that you need counseling, sometimes they'll push it. And it's like, get away from me. I don't want that. Okay, now
You
I
know,
got.
the interesting thing is, like when I first started the master's program almost 2 years ago, they had all these learning resources, these classes that you could take to learn APA and all of these different formatting and how to do research papers. And it was frustrating because I felt like I didn't have time to take all those classes when I had homework due in a week or less.
Yep. All right, guys, we're really going to have to talk because I'm like on my last thingy here. So I'm going to have to find some videos or something because this one is a video. I just thought we'd be able to jabber a lot, but I guess not. Okay. Management techniques. Sometimes we have so much going on that we tend to get overwhelmed and stressed out. Having techniques to cope with these emotions is extremely important for your mental and physical health. What technique did you connect with watching this video? And we'll talk about that after the video. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
None of you guys can hear it?
No.
Nope.
So how do I make that work?
Maybe.
Because I can hear it on mine.
It's muted, it says on the little voice thing on the
I just
video.
stopped it right now.
Oh, okay.
I just stopped it, but
I think if I remember right, there's supposed to be somewhere where you can go to do share sound.
okay, let me see. Over to the dots. And pause recording reaction. Share sound, you're right.
Oh,
She's good.
she is.
Yeah, really.
Logically advanced, you're advanced.
We had to learn it because we do Zoom meetings at my agency, so I had to learn it for the people that Zoom into intensive outpatient. So I learned the
Okay.
hard way because I didn't know what I was doing at first.
Let's start this over and see if this works.
These stress management techniques range from things
can
that you
hear
can do in 2 seconds to things that take a much longer period of time. And many of these stress management techniques are free and accessible, while others require maybe a small cost or a larger commitment. And in this video, I have 13 different stress management techniques to share. So try the one that fits your lifestyle, your interests, and your budget. So number 1, watch a comedy special. When reflecting on the pandemics of centuries past, we can at least find comfort in the fact that we have Netflix now. Search through a list of comedy specials and allow yourself to laugh tonight or as soon as possible. Laughter not only reduces the release of stress in the body, but it can also relax the muscles, boost your immune system, and even physically reduce pain. So go ahead, find something to laugh at tonight. I personally have recently stumbled upon a comedian named Cat Williams. He's a comedian who's known for his swearing and cussing, so he's not for everyone. But I watched a short on YouTube and found myself laughing so hard I was gasping for air. So when I'm stressed, sometimes I just throw him on and have a few laughs. And it's really cool when you can laugh at something even when nobody is around and you're just laughing at a video. Next up we have number 2, which is spend time with people you love. So you can watch a comedy special alone, but it's also better to watch it with roommates or friends or a family member. Apps like Zoom and Netflix Party allow you to watch, chat, and share moments together without being physically close. Taking the time to spend time with others can help you reset your mind and find reassurance in these crazy times. Multiple studies show that social interaction and support can actually reduce stress and boost your overall immune health. Social isolation and loneliness, on the other hand, increase the risk of everything from cardiovascular disease to diabetes. I do want to say it's difficult with the current social and biological situation going around to spend time with people that you love, but it is possible. Next up, number 3, we have foster or adopt a pet. Now, companionship doesn't have to come from your own species. If you already have a pet, take some time to play with them, maybe take a walk or cuddle with them a little bit. All of these interactions can help to reduce your own stress. And if you don't have a pet, but you live in a situation where a pet would be welcome, consider fostering or adopting a pet. Now, the financial costs of a furry friend may only add more stress. And if this is the case, just consider volunteering at a local shelter and playing with some of the animals there who are living in their own social isolation. I guarantee they'll be happy to see you, and hopefully they'll help your own stress. My sister actually just adopted an older cat from a shelter because she wanted her to have a good end-of-life experience with lots of love. And I'll be honest, the cat is so warm and loving, anyone would feel relaxed having Maggie around. Next, we have number 4, which is to set up a spa night for yourself. And I know this sounds really weird, but hear me out. Maybe you're getting too much social interaction. You're holed up in a house with your roommates, your parents, or your kids, and you just feel overwhelmed. Take a night and treat yourself to a spa. Now, I'm not talking about physically going out to a spa, but you can set one up for yourself in your own home. No matter where you have your spa night, consider reducing the 5 senses. Fairy lights, low lighting, or a relaxing book can help you unwind and set a better, more relaxing mood. Think about what you're going to listen to. For me, the best experience is actually a floating trip in a sensory deprivation tank. It helps me de-stress almost immediately. But I've also been known to spend $150 on a hotel room with something called a whirlpool, which is kind of like a jetted tub, just a few times a year to help unwind alone. And I will say it is totally worth it. Number 5 is to light a candle. Now, of course, all of the individual things that I've mentioned can provide stress relief on their own. Take the simple act of lighting a candle or turning on a diffuser. Scents like lavender, lemon, or rosemary can help relax the muscles and reduce stress for a lot of people. In fact, I recently started investing in candles, and I have to say they are amazing. I am addicted. White Barn from, I think, Bath & Body Works has some of these candles that personally get me so cozy and feel really relaxed. Even right now, one called Sugared Snickerdoodle is helping me create this video. Number 6 is to find something that you enjoy doing. And personally, for me, that is doing the dishes. I'm not really sure why, and I know it's kind of weird, but doing the dishes is very satisfying to me. You start with a sink full of dirty dishes, and you end up with a very clean kitchen. You can physically see the progress, and for some reason that just makes me feel a lot better. Maybe it's similar to Jordan Peterson's clean your room mantra, but either way, I am always very mindful when I do the dishes, and I enjoy doing them as a way to leave the day better than I found it. It gives me a small sense of accomplishment. But maybe you're looking for something else to give you a sense of accomplishment. Well, you could try a course at Skillshare. Almost all of the classes have projects that you can work on while you learn, and hopefully at the end you end up with a finished project. There's actually one class that inspired this video. It's called Change Your Brain, 10 Alternatives to Medication to Improve Depression and Anxiety. I was actually getting quite stressed from working on a whole bunch of projects a few weeks ago, so I did some research, and honestly, everything in this course is worth the watch. With crazy political stuff happening, the biological issues growing around the world, everything changing from social ideas to finances, anxiety is on the rise. Now, this Skillshare class I took offers actual tools, like explaining light therapy and proper nutrition education on how to combat anxiety, and these actually worked for me. Right now, there's like over 17,000 classes at the moment, and the price point is, well, in my opinion, one of these classes is worth way more than the monthly fee that they charge. A premium membership costs less than $10 per month if you pay annually. And if you're interested, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will actually get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Now, I want you guys to know I'm very picky with my sponsorships, and you don't see very many of them on this channel, and I'm always transparent. But I've been using Skillshare personally for almost 2 years now. They give me immediate access to experts on certain topics, and it's my first go-to platform to learn something new. I highly recommend the Change Your Brain class that I mentioned earlier by the creator Emma McAdam. Again, only the first 1,000 people to join with the link in the description below will get that free trial. But moving on, number 7 is to go on a drive. Now, driving seems like wasting gas, but for me, it can be a worthwhile stress reliever. You can listen to a podcast, you can listen to your own music, or you can sit with your thoughts. I, personally, have never felt like a 30-minute or even an hour drive to the next town over wasn't worth it. In fact, some of my best ideas have came from just sitting in my car as I watch the sun go down. Now, like I said, this isn't for everyone, but I wanted to make this video personal, as a quick Google search shows things like be yourself, or keep a positive attitude, or accept the things that are. Like, really, that's great advice. I hadn't thought of those. Number 8 is working out. So stress management does not have to be a silent, still, meditative experience. If you feel stressed, you might feel inclined to get moving. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America recognizes exercise as a top fighter of stress. And it also has physical benefits, like laughter, meditation, or a massage. Exercise can produce what we call endorphins. Now, endorphins help relieve stress and boost your mood. So I'd recommend consider walking, jogging, or even finding something like an online yoga class. Just a half an hour of exercise a day can put you on track towards feeling better mentally and physically. In fact, I've actually tracked my stress levels with a month of no cardio and 1 month of 30 minutes of daily cardio, and I'll say that my average stress levels dropped 2.3 points on a 10-point scale. So working out works for me. Number 9 is sleep, because on the other hand, you could relieve some stress by taking a nap. Stress and sleep are closely intertwined. During the night, your body manages the release of hormones, including something called cortisol. And if you don't know what that is, it's actually nicknamed the stress hormone. Your body also regulates other functions, including appetite and the preservation of memories from the night before. Not enough sleep puts too much stress on your physical and mental health, and it can create a scary cycle, because high levels of stress make it even more difficult to fall asleep. But that bad night of sleep causes more stress the next day. So even if you have a packed schedule, it's important to make room for at least 7 hours of uninterrupted quality sleep. Number 10 is to schedule an appointment with a therapist. So as we get to the last few items on this list, I want you to take a moment and evaluate why you are being stressed. Where exactly is your stress coming from? Is it from work? Is it from childcare responsibilities? Maybe a stressful relationship? And maybe, at this point in time, it could just be the general state of the world. Maybe you can't exactly pinpoint what is stressing you out. All of the ideas I've mentioned earlier, maybe they just don't feel like they're going to help with the stress that you're under. And if you're feeling lost, I would highly recommend reaching out to a professional. Going to therapy doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, and therapists are not obligated to diagnose you or put you on any kind of medication. A quick check-in with a therapist, maybe even just once a month, will allow you to assess where you're at and how you can better alleviate stress in the future. A professional may be able to lead you to answers that you could not find yourself. And as with all of the things on this list, I have tried them all. And I've even seen a few therapists. It's just a quick Google search and you can have a talk with a licensed therapist in like 30 minutes. For me, just having someone in your life that you can talk openly to without any judgment is a huge stress reliever. Number 11 is to assess and set boundaries. Now, a therapist's advice may be practical, to meditate, to find a job that's less stressful, and to set boundaries. Even if you're not seeing a professional, finding those boundaries and setting them can be a fantastic way to manage your future stress. When a coworker, a boss, friend, or a partner crosses one of those boundaries, you probably will feel immense stress. Maybe your boss asks you to work more overtime, preventing you from having a healthy work-life balance. Or maybe one of your friends constantly uses you to vent without giving you space to share your feelings. Well, it's time to set some boundaries. And boundaries are pretty difficult, but they can be as easily as saying no to working overtime or telling a friend that you're not in the right headspace to give them advice. Everyone has different boundaries depending on their mental, physical, and emotional bandwidth. Do not be afraid to adjust your boundaries in this new normal and enforce them with people who might be overstepping them. Number 12 is pretty simple. It's music choice. Now, I've realized in the past, listening to certain types of music makes me feel more energetic. It gets me pumped up. But listening to too much of that, I actually start to get more stressed. And so what I've done is I need to listen to music. That's just the kind of person I am. I actually switch that music around to music that is calmer, more stress relieving. It's just a little idea, but I highly recommend it for people who are listening to pumped up music all the time. Number 13 is to journal. Now, one final way to manage or assess your stress is to journal. Take a few minutes each day and write out maybe how you're feeling or write down the problems that you're facing. This helps me a lot. Studies on the brain show that journaling activates a specific part of the brain, allowing you to face tough situations without having a dramatic emotional response. If something is bugging you, I recommend to write it out. Find the root cause of the problem. If you're just having a bad day, go ahead, continue to write it out. And if you're confused about how to manage your stress, start writing about those options. Now, I personally journal every day, and I know that if I didn't, I would be more stressed simply because I wouldn't be able to keep track of my goals and my progress on them. Now, there are many ways to manage stress and live a more relaxing, enjoyable life, and you should do what's best for you, but I hope that this video and my personal examples have maybe helped you out a little bit. Thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and also don't forget to check out Skillshare if you haven't already. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below will actually get a Skillshare Premium free trial. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.
So, anybody get anything out of
Yes.
that?
So I like the spa time and the time alone. And I think that's because I am face to face with coworkers and clients all day, all week. So that quietness and that calmness, the warmth of the water, the smell of the senses, all of that is calming to me, and I do that. I like to take bubble baths. I like the candles. I have a lot of candles. I like lighting too, different lighting. And then the stress that he mentioned, so when you're a counselor or just a person that you listen to others, you got to be careful because people will want to tell you their problems all the time, and you can't charge them a copay. So I agree with putting the boundaries even on like friends and relatives, because if you don't, well, I know I have experienced the same thing. Like that person will talk and talk and talk, and they're relieving their stress, and then you walk away or you hang up, and you're even more stressed because you've taken on their stress. So that one was a good one. And then at work, when I'm working in the office, I put on like coffee shop music, just something really calming. And I think the people that's coming in, like I've had the clients say, oh, it's like really calm in here, because I do have like a little plug-in for the wall. So, I mean, it's not too strong, but it has a nice smell. And I have little music going, which I do turn off when we start talking. But I think things like that is something what he mentioned that I can relate to. The state of the world is so stressful because you just don't know what's going to happen, or you worry about what's going to happen and you don't really have control over it. So those are all things I identify with.
Okay.
I kind of do a lot of the same things that Robin talked about, like kind of making sure that self-care is in there. And then, I mean, I have a date book that I use almost religiously for my life outside of work. And if I feel like school's getting really busy, I'll actually put my homework in my date book. Because honestly, like And all the classes I've taken in my master's, the amount of reading homework that there is associated with every week just floors me. Like there's hours and hours of reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to like almost look at our assignments and pick and choose what I'm going to read from there. I wish I could read everything because I know it's all relevant material and data and research, but I just don't have the time. Like, and when I first started the master's program, that really stressed me out because I was trying to read everything and then just not having any time. And that's when I was doing 14 hours a week of school and still couldn't fit in with regular adult life and parenting and family and just obligations. It could not fit in the hours of reading that was required. And then kind of going through the assignments and wondering why some of the reading wasn't there, like it wasn't relevant to the assignments, or having an assignment that there wasn't any material that in all of the reading that related to the assignment. Like I kind of struggled with some of that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people had that struggle, but I absolutely hate with a capital HATE academic journals. Hate journals. It's the most dry reading on the planet to read a journal article.
Okay.
I can relate to the reading. I don't read everything, and I read. I do pick and choose what I feel is relevant or what relates to the particular discussion question, for example. But I think if I did every single part of the reading, I just couldn't do it. But yeah, it's that's a lot. That's a lot.
Trying to figure out how to do this, and I'm not sure how to do this. I'm
I
trying to
really
figure
like
something
the-
out.
The
Huh?
point, like the journaling, like
Uh-huh.
I never thought of that as being like a stress reliever, but I do participate in that when there's a few extra minutes on a day or two. You know, the going for the walks, the getting involved in hobbies.
Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm trying to find this video, so give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. I don't want a puppy because you have to take puppies out.
I'm trying. Just a minute, guys. This
Yeah,
is
I've
all
got
new to me,
dogs.
so
I don't like to take my dogs for walks because if there's other dogs out, it becomes a stressful experience. So if I'm trying to decompress, I'm not taking my
Stop
dogs
it.
for walks.
stop it. Okay, I'm having issues.
I heard this pastor the other day, and he was talking about people in, I think it was in Asia or China, but he talked about like the amount of hours that this guy was working, and it was like over 116 hours in a week. And then really just talked about how the guy died at like the age of 32
Oh,
at his
32.
yeah, like literally just at his desk, and went into like time management and stress and how essential it is to really pick that rest time. So of course he went into the Sabbath day, that was his sermon, but I was like, gosh, I don't have a rest day. So in the last like month, I've taken, Sunday because that's our day, and not doing anything. And it's funny how many things will come up. Like my oldest son will bring his laundry over on Sunday, or, there'll be some kind of, something that happens, in personal life that seems heavy or something. And it's just crazy how many things are ready to rob your rest. Literally.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
For some reason, this is not playing for me and it's making me mad.
I like the Sunday idea, Chanda. I tried this Sunday and it didn't work very well, but I won't give up.
Right, like it's crazy that we actually do have to practice rest,
Mhm.
like. And I know like some people would say even like coming out of addiction because they stay busy, that's how they stayed, clean. So to stay busy becomes like I don't even know, like a habit basically. And then trying to learn how to like be alone and rest.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, guys, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and play something, but I don't think it's right. Nope, that's not it. Dang it.
One of the things that I'm concerned about is coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be working 60 hours. So if it was difficult working 40 hours and going to school, 60 hours,
Is that because
I'm
you're
gonna-
gonna be doing internship?
yes, I'm going to have 12-hour days 3 times a week at my full-time job now. And then I'm going to have 2 10-hour days at the job that I'm interning in, and that's for 16 weeks. And I'm still going to have homework to do.
How come you have
Oh.
to intern at a different place of work?
I don't have to, I'm choosing to because I can't get paid for my internship. So I would have to work the 20 extra hours anyway. So I'm choosing to go somewhere else to learn how they work and how they do their program so that I can just be more skilled and have more knowledge.
Is that part of our internship program that we can't be paid?
As far as I understand, yes, you cannot be paid for your internship.
Really? I think
Yeah.
I think
I
I missed
also,
that part.
I want everybody to know that you can't work under the same supervisor
Right.
and you can't work with the same clients.
See,
Right.
I knew that. So we have our substance use side is separate from our mental health side. So since I work on the substance use side, I could intern on the mental health side and then have the mental health clinical supervisor. But I definitely missed the part that said that you couldn't be paid for it.
No.
Okay, guys, we're gonna give
Otherwise-
this a shot.
Okay.
It's a motivational short film on student stress and depression. So it was only supposed to be 30 minutes, so I'm hoping that's what it is.
Are your kids in grades 6 to 11?
Gotta get past
Harvard
the-
has made SAT and ACT score submission optional.
Too bad. Yeah, it is. Okay. How do you make it full screen, guys?
Full screen.
Yeah.
The little square at the bottom.
I don't see a little square at the bottom.
Go to the screen. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Go right over to the
That
yes.
one?
Uh-huh.
Here you go. Now what happened? What happened?
You gotta push play.
I did something.
Welcome to yet another episode of Central Time Show. We have a very
Yes, it is.
special guest amongst us. He's a writer, he's a journalist, and he's an author. Presenting to you, Mr. Praram Dhal. Welcome, Praram.
Thank you.
to our show.
Student stress and depression.
So I had gathered recently that your book is doing phenomenally well. It's almost the 5th week running and it's on the bookstore shelves. And it's also running #1 on the Wall Street Journal Times.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about it and what would you like
Why
to
is
tell
this?
us?
Tell me something. Have you ever felt being accused of something you've not done?
Huh, but what's the
Okay, this isn't on what I thought it was supposed to be. Doesn't that say on student stress?
Uh-huh.
हमारे पास न्यूज़ है सर कि आपके यहाँ पर एक बच्ची ने
Oh, there we go. But it's gonna be
हमारे
not in
पास
my
न्यूज़ है
language,
सर
huh?
कि आपके यहाँ पर एक बच्ची ने सुसाइड
Okay,
अटेम्प्ट
that's not
किया
gonna
है
work.
सो
What
It's not in our language, right?
nonsense? कहाँ
No.
पे सुनते हैं आप ये सारे rumors?
सर आई एम अ जर्नलिस्ट इट्स माय जॉब
Is it your job to report this kind of senseless rubbish? I am warning you, Mr. Praram. Don't even dare to print a single word against this institution. The grounds that you are standing on are over 50 years old. One of the
Talking. I thought it's supposed to be on student stress and it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't, because I was looking for something that we could watch, because basically we've talked about all the student stress, but I don't know. How about, what do you have in your student stress?
So what I'm looking at coming up, and we were talking about it, is the internship, because I
Mhm.
already feel stressed with work and school. And then on top of that, I'm going to be working the 60 hours per week total, including the internship and doing the class at the same time. So,
So wait a minute, let me get this straight. You work
mhm,
and then you got to do 60 hours of internship
40 hours work, 20 hours internship.
and still doing classes.
Yes.
I thought the internship was after the classes were done.
No, I'm going to have a class during each. I have pre-practicum and practicum, and during each, I'm going to have a class for 8 weeks. And they have things where you're doing your discussion question, you're doing like a journal of what you're learning from your internship site, you're doing like your resume, cover letter, stuff like that. But you have assignments and you have discussion questions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I
I got
said.
a long way to go till I hit that. So, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to do when it hits that, because I usually pull 60 hours alone at work, a week.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. That's
Yeah.
going to be fun. It's
Yeah.
actually more than that usually, but
I think it's a little less work in terms of like the assignments, but it's still going to be the discussion questions from what my supervisor went through it. So he just told me a little bit of what it's like, what to expect, and that's what it is. You're going to be doing like a journal. You have the discussion questions. You have to do the participation at least 3 days out of the week, 3 separate days. So it's a lot of the same.
so what are you going to do to help manage it? To help manage the stress?
That's a good question.
Well, I just gave you a bunch of answers.
Yeah. So the good thing, I'll think positively. I'll have the weekend off because I've scheduled to work Monday through Friday. So I'll have Saturday and Sunday off. So I can de-stress at least one of those days. I was telling Shanda, I'm practicing not doing anything on Sunday. So maybe by that time I would have perfected that, and I'll just have Sunday to relax, Saturday to do laundry, house cleaning, grocery shopping, whatever else I need to do, homework, because I don't think I'll feel like doing it during the week. So, that's
Help you
my
with your
plan.
house stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody that can help you with your house stuff, like cleaning and laundry?
No, I have to do it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah.
take that spa day.
Oh yeah,
And then you
definitely.
can always bug me and Shonda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you got our phone
I'll say,
numbers?
take me to your
No,
to
I'm
one
not
of your
sneaking you
trips.
in my suitcase. No. No, I've been planning this for 2 years. So
Oh,
it's like
well,
my
you gotta
Australia
do
one in
it.
2025 is I plan 2 years ahead so I can make payments on it.
Yeah, I hear they have those.
Yeah, I make payments on all my trips, and me and my sister are doing Australia and New Zealand in 2025. So
Oh, cool.
trying to
How
get
long are you
Italy,
gonna
Greece, and France. So
how long are you gonna be gone for
14
this
days.
trip?
Oh, this one 14.
Oh, wow.
It's just funny because I had to do homework for my bachelor's degree on the last cruise I was on to the Caribbean.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody's out having fun. I'm doing homework. Yeah, it's lots of fun. So Shonda, what are you stressed out about at work, at school?
I want to say work, adolescence.
Yeah, I know that.
Honestly, up until Robin just shared that you're not supposed to be paid for your internship, I wasn't stressed about anything. I think
Yeah, you
that's
don't get paid.
I think that's kind of crap because my work offers paid internships.
Then you need
Oh,
to find
wow.
one I don't think it matters if you get a paid one or not. Does it?
They don't want you getting paid. Otherwise, believe me, I would not choose to work 60 hours. So,
What?
Yeah, I
Why
feel like
does it make
that's
a
almost,
difference?
I feel like that's unreal that they would actually try to make that requirement because we are adults and full-time employees with families. Like, where's your time when you're working that many hours?
My
And then
daughter just got a job at my
Yeah.
work where she's interning from school and she's getting
Mhm.
paid. She's not getting paid as much as a normal person, but she's getting paid. You
yeah.
know, like we get paid 40 some odd dollars an hour. She's only getting 23, you know, but she's going to be doing the same stuff, but it's an internship. She's learning. So
Yeah. Well, I had two coworkers go through it and they did the same thing. They're in the same program. And believe me, if we could do anything different, we would. I don't want to work 60 hours a week at 56 years old. I mean, all of my life, I've had 2 jobs, I've had 3 jobs, but at this point, I don't want to do that, but I have to. So the only thing I can do is make the most of it, see what happens.
Right, I wonder what they would do. Cause there's only one other agency in town where I live and they're both paid interns.
you got some pretty pictures behind you, by the way.
Yeah, that is.
Aw. Huh?
Yeah, so that makes me wonder because it's not, I can't drive anywhere. I can't go out of town to do it.
But you said that you have different departments because that's what my field experience advisor told me is you can work in the same job, but like Mike said, you can't have the same supervisor and you can't work with the same clients. And I have that option because we have a first step center, we have a data entry center, we have a lot of different departments, but I just
Right.
wanted to learn something somewhere else, how they do it elsewhere.
Yeah, get the feeling of some other
Mhm.
place, you know, because everybody does things differently. They don't do them all the same, even though we all have the same rules. We
Yeah.
don't exactly follow them all the same.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
noticed from what I understand, and I've listened here and there. I mean, I don't work for one of them, you know, I work at the refinery, but from what I've gathered through being at the places and listening to people talk, everybody does it a little bit different,
Yeah.
but all within the confines of the ethics and, you know, and the law, but they all do it a little bit different.
Mhm.
So yeah, it'd be nice to get a variety of what do you do here? What do you do there? You know, that would be
Right.
nice. So are you
Yeah,
worried about your
I
internship?
wasn't feeling any stressed until she shared that. Thanks, Robin. You have
Well,
been
now I'm
very-
stressed. Got to make sure I got enough money to where I can freaking do that.
I'm sorry. But it'll at least give you a heads up.
Right. I'm gonna have to read into that book.
Pre-planning. Plan ahead. Plan ahead.
Yep.
What about you, Mike? You got to do your internship. What are you going to do? He's ignoring me. He's like, I ain't talking to you.
I'm breaking up a lot here, so let me know if it's breaking up. My internet connection is going bad. But my internship, I'm going to work at the same company, and I'm just going to hope that my new boss cuts me some slack and doesn't make me work 10-hour days. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, because we used to be coworkers, and she got promoted and moved on.
Ah,
So I don't think she's going to make it too
too
tough
difficult.
for me. That's my hope. But because we have time to kill, let me cover a couple points that I didn't cover early.
All righty.
All right. First of all, when I mentioned in that thing, what? You want time to get killed, right?
Yeah, I said already.
No? Okay. During that first video that they mentioned the sensory deprivation tank, I've always wanted to do that. I
You know,
really
you can do that
always
in your
wanted to do-
bathroom.
What?
You could do that in your bathroom. You just lay back in the tub and you put your ears underneath the water That's all you got to do, and you got the simps. You got it, because I
but
do it
you
all the
gotta have
time.
the tub. You really gotta have the water at exactly body temperature.
It's actually very soothing when you do that, because you just don't hear anything.
Yeah, well, I'm told that if you're in a real sensory deprivation tank and you're in there long enough, you'll start hallucinating.
That's why you want to do it, huh?
Yeah.
It's a legal drug.
I want to visit some of my old hallucination friends that I used to have.
Lord, that's funny. This ain't the 60s no more.
They did mention the humor. That's always a great thing. I'm a firm believer in that laughter is the best medicine.
Oh, it is.
You know?
Have you ever tried meditation?
No,
Why not?
I'm not sure. I mean, for
Ah.
most of my life, they said that people who are using drugs shouldn't bother. So
Ah.
I didn't bother. But I don't know why in the 23 years I've been sober that I haven't really tried it. Probably a time issue. I don't know.
Ah. So maybe we'll
Next
try
thing-
guided meditation.
What? I should try it. You're right.
Guided meditation, because I actually those. It's a meditation for stress. Let's see, how long is it? 6 minutes. You want to try it?
Sure. You got a video you can show?
That's what I just pulled up. I'm seeing if it'll work.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Go
see.
for it.
I gotta get it up here. Where'd my share screen go? Where'd you guys go? There you are. Hang on, I gotta share screen. Where'd you go? This one.
Making thousands of
You
dollars.
bet. Okay. Because I do these all the time. So if this is a guided meditation exercise, there we go.
Welcome to a guided meditation exercise for relaxation
Can you hear it
in
or no?
times of stress.
Yep.
Let this exercise be a moment of oasis. By taking this time to rest and recharge, you will be able to cope and focus on what's important. If you are able and desire to do so, ground yourself through your senses by lighting a scented candle or using an essential oil of your choice in a diffuser. Now, sit or lie down comfortably, whichever is
lay
best
down.
for you right now. Start to notice your thoughts, the sounds you hear, and what you see around you. If you choose to do so, close your eyes. Let's savor a few moments of quiet. Start to notice your breathing. Notice how your breath happens naturally. That's your body taking care of you. And by taking some time to be still and to relax, you are taking care of your body. Breathe deeply, relax, and sink into your body, letting your body have the rest it needs. You may notice your thoughts wandering. That is normal. Bring your attention back to the present moment. Breathe in. Hold the breath for a moment. Now breathe out. Pause here for a second. Take another deep breath in and pause. Breathe out and rest for a moment. Turn your attention to your body. Are there areas where you're holding tension? Maybe your shoulders are tense, your jaw's clenched, or your hands are holding on tight. Do a quick scan of your body from your toes to your head. Take a slow deep breath and let the tension go. Enjoy this time being in your body. You and your body are one. Treasure and take care of your body, and by doing so, you treasure and care for yourself. Again, if you find your mind drifting away from the present moment, Maybe to something you're worried about, something that feels so pressing. Accept your thoughts as things that just happen and focus your attention back to the present moment. Now we're going to focus our attention on what's around us to ground us in this moment. Take a breath and focus on any smells in your environment. Slowly inhale and observe what you hear and any sounds you notice. Breathe in and focus on your skin. What do you feel? Lastly, take a moment to breathe and focus on how you feel emotionally. This may be hard to do right now, but you're not alone in what you're going through. Breathe, name the emotion, accept it, and let it pass. Spend some time being in the present moment. If you're experiencing a lot of stress right now, being present can be scary. But remember, this moment is where we live and where good things happen too. Take a moment to bring something good to mind, something you're grateful for. Take a breath in. Sit in that feeling of being present for a moment. And breathe out and rest for a moment. This last minute is yours. Yours to feel, to breathe, to experience the present, to savor this moment of taking care of yourself.
There's your psychedelics, Mike.
Hold up.
I said, there's your psychedelics.
This concludes our meditation practice for today. We hope this time has been a haven of rest for you. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Slowly open your eyes and begin to move around when you are ready. Take good care of yourself today.
Now, when I was in recovery at Thelma McMillan, every Tuesday we would do a meditation. And at first I thought it was silly as hell. You know, I thought it was just, okay, this is weird. I'm closing my eyes and trying to breathe. And I thought it was crazy. But then I decided, okay, because a lot of the AA meetings, how do I make that sound go away?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, I got a sound going on. I got to make it go away. Oh, it's a river. Okay. I got a river. That's pretty. Okay. Well, they make us do a meditation, and I thought it was dumb as hell. And then there was a meditation AA meeting that you do 3 minutes of meditation before the meeting, and it actually grounds you. And if you have Kaiser, they actually pay for the Calm app for you. It's because I didn't know that they paid for it, and I went and bought it myself, and then somebody told me about it, and I went through Kaiser and got my money back. It's like $69 a year. So yeah, I took the Calm app, and it's got like Matthew McConaughey telling stories on it. You know, his voice is so awesome, you know, and it's got sleep time. I mean, it actually works. So I went to Sedona, and I just went through the chakra thing and learning all about that. So I turned my living room into a meditation room pretty much, because I live by myself now in a 1-bedroom apartment. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very calming and very stress relieving once you learn how to do it.
It helped me just now. I had a lot of tension in my shoulders and neck, and just that little bit helped. So
It's very calming. I mean, just,
Yeah.
I don't know why it works. It works. If you give it a chance, it works. What do you think, Shonda?
I usually use like muscle tension relaxation, and I use Julie True guided meditations. So
Which ones are those? What's the muscle?
Julie True like a Christ-centered meditation, and then muscle relaxations like box breathing, and then just tensing your muscles. So it'll start at your toes, or you'll start at your hands, and you just flex your muscle, and then just slowly release it, and then go through all the muscle groups. So you just for like 5 seconds flex, and then slowly release, and then you move to the next muscle group. That's actually what we use for our outpatient classes too.
oh,
That's actually, could you send me something on that? Email me or text me something
Yeah.
on that? And the guided ones too, because I would like to get into Christ-centered ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. What about you, Mike? What'd you think? Your first one?
Yeah, it seemed like it would work. And that little bit there seemed to help a little bit.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
you,
so I mean, giving it a try. I explored some weird religion one time. I think it was called spirits. Big in France and big in Brazil. And I went to a couple of their meetings, but they started their meetings off that way.
with meditation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you should try
You
it.
sat in a
It's actually
room and
really
they,
good.
yeah. I remember back then that, you know, they provided the music and they dimmed the lights and they had candles and
I used to do
it
a
did
women's
help
meeting.
you relax.
There was a women's meeting that used to be in Redlands for AA, and it was held at a church, and it was a room that they did like Sunday school or something in, but we'd turn it into candles. We'd have these little, like, not actual candles, but the little like voltage lights, you know,
Yeah.
little, and we put them all through, and then they had pillows on the ground, and the round chairs, the big round chairs with fluffy stuff, and it was the most relaxing, calming place ever, because it didn't have those hard chairs, and it was just great. I mean, we had doctors and lawyers and all kinds of stuff in that thing, and it was just, they'd sit there knitting, and we just have our meeting, and it was just so calm and relaxing. But it's not there anymore, or I'd still go to it.
Is that a meeting that coronavirus got rid of?
No, it went away
Oh.
before that. I think the church was using the room for something else, so we couldn't get it anymore. And plus, those AA people don't know how to listen, and they throw their cigarette butts places they shouldn't at a
Right.
church. Yeah, so that got them kicked out.
And they hang outside smoking.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
it was beautiful while it lasted, and I've been to one that was a Indian spirit meeting. It's called the Indian Spirit Meeting, and they bring a big old buffalo head, the Tatanka, and they do sage, and it's really nice. They play the drum beats, and it's just soothing. I try a little bit of everything. I'll try a little bit of everything.
Right. See what works, get rid of throw away the rest.
Celebrate Recovery is a lot of fun because it's got music, and it's about everybody. It's not just one type of recovery. It's got all kinds of different recoveries in it, so it's actually pretty cool. So we still got half an hour, people. So let's say, because
Let me go back. Let me go back to my list.
You go back to your list there, Mike.
All right. I got to comment on, I think pets are the greatest relaxing thing ever. I recently saw a quote that said, "Time spent with your cat is never wasted." And sometimes I feel that way. And I got 3 cats.
I got 2 dogs.
Yeah. My cats kind of get jealous over each other, but they just look and stare and then walk away. But I gotta say, I think a pet is a good experience.
It is.
We talked about exercise. There was a time when I was doing real good with exercise, and I had a job where I could go home before I got out of work, and I'd put on my sweats. I'd go back to the office, and the gym was right like a couple hundred yards away. And it worked out great, and then that gym closed. My problem is if I go home to get into my sweats, I sit on the couch and I'm done. It was that back then when I could go back to the office in my sweats and go right to the gym, I was able to do it. And I did a lot there.
Yeah.
But I did actually feel better. And, you know, I never understood how exercising could give you more energy, but it did.
It's
And
good for depression.
right,
It's very good for depression. That's one thing they tell you to do is exercise.
right, and it's good for anxiety.
Mhm.
You know,
The only problem with
and
me
I
going
always
after work and
argue.
doing that. Go ahead.
I always used to argue with my clients back when I was exercising, trying to talk them into it. They would say, "Oh, I don't have the time," and I'd say, "Hey, don't you see on TV that the president jogs and does his exercise?" I said, "If the president of the United States has time, you can make a little bit of time." And next thing was they talked about telling their problems to you. Robin, you were talking about it, and you're right. You know, I mean, mine was worse because I was a counselor who was tending bar, and everybody knew I was a counselor, and I was a bartender, and just people just
It's like
wanted
an oxymoron.
Yeah, it was. But I only quit to go to graduate school. People told me, yeah, recovering addict shouldn't tend bar, but I think it helped me. At the end of the night, when I saw all these drunk people, I would just say to myself, boy, I'm glad I'm not like that anymore.
Most people can't handle it though, Mike. You're one of the very few, so I would not recommend it to anybody.
Right. No, I wouldn't recommend it for somebody else, but I made a lot of money at it too. You know, I only bartended one night a week, Saturday nights, which was the good tip night, and I did it. My biggest problem there was too many people they would tell me that their kids are using alcohol or drugs while they're sitting here at the bar drinking, and they expected me to give them a magic solution that they could just go home and do this with their kids and their kids' problem would be solved. You know?
Well, come on, Mike, can't you do that?
You're right. That's kind of. I thought this is what you do for a living, Mike. Yeah, I got a lot of that, and you know, sometimes I felt like saying, "Well, maybe their parents should give up drinking," but I had to bite my tongue on that.
Yeah, well, you should tell them maybe you guys shouldn't be here and at home with your kids.
Right. Although
you know,
most of the time their kids were already in their 20s.
Yeah.
People here were speaking about the reading assignments that you have to do. I don't see how you do it. I mean, I've been in the field long enough where I didn't have to really read anything to go to the school, you know, or very little, a couple things I had to read here and there, you know, and I could, my hardest problem was finding my references, because most of it came from the top of my head. But for somebody who wasn't in this field before, who's going through this program, I can't imagine. I can't imagine how you tried to get all of this knowledge from all of that reading, enough of it so that you could do the papers. I don't know. God bless you.
Well, that's why
and having Sunday as my off day. Sunday is my off day. Sunday is my day to sit and watch football all day long. Well, now that they have football in England, it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't end till 10 o'clock at night. So that's
because I wanted to learn something more, I went to the NADAC concert, or not concert, the conference in Denver, which is NAADAC. It's the Alcoholic Counselors.
I saw a picture of it.
It was actually very fun, and I met some great people that are counselors, and I got like 28 hours of continuing education by going to the classes. And
but you don't need that while you're in school.
You can, it still counts. It's still there, you know, but it was just, I wanted to go mingle. I wanted to go meet people and learn about things here and there, you know, and had a bunch of different different courses. So now I know how to pick my continuing education because I spoke to these people and they told me how to do it and what to look for on the booklet of what you need, because it says under at the bottom what each one is tied to, like this is ethics and this is this and this is, you know, so you whatever you need, you go to that one class. Well, the whole conference is like, I think it cost me like $400 or $500, but I got to get all kinds of credits, you know, all kinds of stuff, you know, so it was like, okay. And it was a lot of fun. And I mean, it was really expensive for the hotel, but it was a beautiful hotel and it was a resort. And I got to spend the day with my granddaughter, you know, a couple days with her. She went to all the little things with me. It was funny because 9-year-old playing on her tablet while I'm going to all these continuing education things and nobody cared. You know, they were just, it was a lot of fun. So I met some really good people, you know, and got their phone numbers, and me and Lana are really good friends, and she's up in Nevada. This woman's like 6'4". I look short on the side of her. Yeah. and I'm 5'10". So it was like, yeah, it was, she's really nice though. We had a great time. You know, it just, I'm a member of NADAC. I'm a student member because you have to enroll in something. So I chose that one and decided I was going to start, you know, mingling. And they actually have a minority scholarship. And I went and talked to the lady and she said I should put in for it. So I'm waiting for my letter back from the school. It's what is it? In good standing letter, you know, letting them know I'm in good standing. And then I have to get references from my teachers and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they give you $15,000. You just gotta commit to working with lower income people for 2 years.
Oh.
And it's not bad. You know, I don't care who I work with, you know, those are the ones that need me more than the rich people, you know, so I'm going to try it. I mean, can't hurt to try it because I'm like, I don't think I'm a minority, you know, but they said you're a woman, so you count. So, okay.
I don't know how it works in you guys' states, and I'm curious. Like in my state, because I already have a CADC, that I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor, when I hand them my master's diploma, I automatically get my license. They no test, no anything. They just give it to you because I had to go through all that to be certified, you know? So they just hand you your license. Do you guys got to go take tests and stuff?
Didn't you take that test to get your CADC though?
What, didn't I what?
Didn't you take that test to get your CADC?
Yes, I did. That's
Okay.
why
I think that's because the test is the same. So like where I
right,
live,
it is. Right.
yep, the test is the same for the CAC to the LAC. So like once I have my master's degree, I'll automatically do the same, because they talked to me when I started too, and they're like, I wonder if you have to take the test twice because it's the same test. And the Bureau or the Board of Addiction and Prevention Professionals, I think, came back and said, no, like they've already taken the test. What's the point of doing it again? They're getting a
Right.
further.
What state are you in?
South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wanna
that's
go
the
to
way
South
it is in New
Dakota.
Jersey.
I
What?
have
I'll be
to
there
take
for
the
Sturgis. I'll
We
be there
do
for
have
Sturgis.
some good things here. The weather's not one of them.
No,
No.
They have
Sturgis is
Sturgis.
one of them.
they have Sturgis.
Sturgis,
Yeah,
is, I
Buffalo.
mean, I've never been out there. I've been out in that area, but not during that week. But we do meet a lot of the bikers that come through, so it's always neat. Like it's good. Like the people are always nice, and but we do have good. We have decent politics here. We have a woman governor, and she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
You like that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, she's got bigger cojones than most men governors.
I like it. So I guess we ought to get back on track here, guys.
Yeah,
We're talking about
that's my
cojones now.
fault. Sorry.
You know, I was thinking too, like I didn't even think to share it, but one of the other things that I think that's relieved a lot of stress for me as a student is I have a prayer closet upstairs that I utilize. I probably don't utilize it as much now as I did when I first started school, but like part of my own stress relief is spending time in there. And I used to feel guilty about it because I'd go in there and I'd go right to sleep. So at first it was like, oh, I want to spend time with God. But now I feel bad because every time I go in there to spend time with God, I fall asleep. And then I had a very kind, godly woman tell me once, do you think that your mom ever got mad when you fell asleep on her lap, or your dad ever got mad when you fell asleep on his lap? And I was like, no. And she's like, I'm pretty sure that the Father also doesn't get mad when you fall asleep in his arms. So I was like, oh wow, like that's crazy, because that's how it's so crazy. It's a crawl space. It's not like it's not a war room closet. It's like a slanted roof on one side of the house. So it's supposed to be like a storage area, which I've taken the first half of it that spans probably 20 feet and then turned it into like a bed and prayer area. But as soon as I get in there, I absolutely feel instant decompressing and I go to sleep almost every time.
I'm sorry, but listening to you talk about a closet and prayer, I'm a horror movie fanatic and I went straight to Carrie.
Oh, no.
I went straight to Carrie. I'm like, holy crap, she's got a closet.
It used to be kind of creepy when I first started in there. And then like the first few weeks I had a spider crawl on me, and then I didn't go in there for a long time. And then now I go in there, like if I'm feeling heavy or I want quiet, that's where I go. My husband, on the other hand, has an entire whole room. He has a finished garage. Wow. That's literally another house that's away from our house. It's got a chair in there, like a massage chair, a movie screen, TV screen.
Okay. Yeah. I got a she shed.
Yeah, it's basically, that's what it is for him, only it's the size of a huge garage, a double wide garage. And he's making fun of me right now because
you're jealous.
We both get to go back there, but he definitely utilizes that space a lot more. But now that there's a massage chair out there, I might go live out there for a little bit.
Yeah, you might fall asleep in that too.
I'm going to. He just put it together today, so I was like, I can't wait to go out there. I'm gonna go sit in that for a while.
Oh yeah, I would too. That's one way to get rid of stress.
Yes, I didn't want to get it for the longest time, but Menards kept lowering their price.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually he's like, I think we should get it. And he for a long time had sciatic nerve issues, which he doesn't anymore, but he still struggles with some back pain now and then when he's working. So I don't know, the lower it got, I was like, gosh, we're not going to get one for any cheaper. Like, it's just.
No, you might as well grab it when it's that low.
Yep. And then they had like 24 months free financing. So
that right there, it's free money. Yeah, you pay it off, free money. That's a good way to de-stress. It's like I used to do the bubble bath thing and the deprivation thing where I would just lay in the bathtub and I would put my ears under the water. And once you got your ears under the water, it's like being in deprivation. It's just very calming, and all you hear is these weird little whooshing noises, and that's the way it would. I was afraid I'd fall asleep and drown myself, but that and massages.
Oh,
yeah.
Huh?
Does anyone use oil diffusers?
I do.
I use oil. I don't use the diffuser. I'm not a really fan of that because it actually makes little film on your stuff around it. But I like the aromatherapy when you're doing the massages and stuff where they make you take deep breaths and I like eucalyptus a lot. I don't know why, but I do. But eucalyptus and lavender, but I can't use lavender because my daughter's allergic to it, so can't use that. So I use massages, and then I've been using meditation. The only thing that seems to calm me is meditation. And even if I'm in the middle of screaming at somebody, I'll stop and throw on Calm, a real quick 5-minute meditation, and just just put my hands up, and just let it go. Just let it go.
I've got a Swedish massage on Friday. I don't even know what that is. So
just deep tissue.
Yeah, I looked at the list and I was like, well, that one sounds okay. So
they really aren't much different. It's just a deep tissue.
Be over my lunch hour at work. They're like, you can take the time off of your schedule. I was like, really?
Oh,
You're
wow.
not gonna want to move once you get done. I wish they would rent the chair for like 2 hours after you get one done, so you could just sleep.
Right?
That would
Well, we
be
have that
amazing.
at our nail salons. A lot of the nail salons around here have those chairs. So
Really?
like they have, yeah, the massage chairs.
Massage. I don't like
Yep.
those.
So I haven't been into one forever, but I used to like to do that, like go get my nails done and like, but you know, when it costs $100 to $125 to get your nails and your toenails done, that adds a little more stress to the stress you're trying to
That's why I don't do it anymore. Is I do
Yep.
it only on very rare
I
occasions, which I
started
should
buying
do
Color
before I go to
Street, which you
Caribbean, but but yeah, Mike, we're all talking about massages and getting our nails done. Do you get your nails done? Do you get pedicures?
No, but
Why
I had
not?
people
It's actually
pay.
good.
Somebody paid for me to get a pedicure once, and I did
They're
it.
awesome, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
They're
It was
very
not
they're
bad
very
at all.
good. Men have ugly feet, so you gotta get them taken care of.
Right.
Oh, to
Yeah.
have been in the chair next to Mike when he was getting it done.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been great.
That would have been stress relief right there. That would have been laughter.
Yes.
Laughter is a good one. If I ever am really in a bad mood, I go to the comedy club.
Yeah, I like that they put the comedy up there. I don't listen to Cat Williams anymore, but there was a time where that man lit up my life to where I couldn't breathe.
Mhm.
And I sometimes just scrolling through TikTok, it'll open one up
Mhm.
and I just die. And my husband will look at me. I'm like, I used to live on this. Like, he's like, gosh, it's so foul. I'm like, I know,
Oh
but
yeah. I used to like
but
what's his name that died that was from New York. What was his name? Mike, you know who I'm talking about.
What kind of
Comedian
comedy?
from New York that was he loved words. What was his name? He
You
died.
loved what?
Words. He used words.
Jim Belushi.
No. Oh, you guys would know
George
who I'm
Carlin?
talking to. Yes, that guy.
George Carlin?
George
Oh,
Carlin.
yeah.
The most
I-
foulest,
yeah.
greatest man in the
He
world.
did great.
He was amazing.
He
And
was
he knew
good.
words very well. He was great. But I also
he
like to
still
go
works.
on the new people nights, because they have like a Thursday is open mic night. And you go and you listen to new people. Like before Fluffy, do you know who Fluffy is?
Oh, he just came here not too long ago.
Before he hit it big, I saw him at the Ontario Improv,
and
and
he's not like
he
he's
never
not
uses a curse
raunchy,
word. He has
Right.
no curse words in his thing.
right?
If you
Yep,
ever
and
notice,
he's
none.
clean for the most part. Like he's
Mhm.
just kind of real life-ish and does it. I know a lot of people listen to that Matt Rife. He's terrible. He is downright rotten. I've caught my son listening to some of his. I mean, he can be funny, but there are no boundaries in his world for comedy.
Well,
And
that
I'm
would
like,
be the shock jock. Who was the shock jock? Mike, who was the shock jock? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know. He
Rude as heck.
has the movie Private Parts.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh, he was just
This
foul mouth,
is the
rude.
price of getting old.
Yeah, I
this
can't
is-
remember his name either. But it's right there, but I know who he's talking about. But he was
Yeah.
just foul. He kind of reminded me of a Rush Limbaugh type, because Rush Limbaugh was rude. but yeah, I can't remember his
Yeah, I
name.
can imagine what he is now on Sirius, because
Oh,
he still
Lord.
has a show on Sirius. Well, when I was listening to him, he was on the radio. So, I mean, he couldn't be raunchy.
Yeah.
are you talking about
Yes,
Howard
he was good.
Stern?
Howard
Yeah,
Stern,
that's-
there you go.
Oh.
Yes. The shock jock.
Yep, he definitely didn't have a filter neither.
And what was the other one?
He's
Andrew
you
Dice
know,
Clay. I
he's
got to see Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh,
yeah, he's real shocking. But who we just talking about the shock jock? What was his name again?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern is the highest paid entertainer in America.
Really? I
He
didn't know
was
that.
it. Yeah.
I didn't know
Now,
that.
the other entertainers get residuals from the records and everything else.
Mhm.
But, as far as getting paid just for entertaining He gets more.
I wouldn't doubt it because he's just rude as heck. He's just
Wow.
she's going, I don't know any of these people, but okay.
I do.
You all
I
need to
do.
go
I
to a
do
comedy
know.
night. You gotta fly in,
I think
Shonda.
Cat Williams is the one that I've listened to before.
I'm not familiar with Cat Williams.
Me either. I know it was I know who it is, but I just can't picture it. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's only like 4'4"
Yeah.
ish.
Little
Like,
guy.
But you
Yeah.
would have rung a bell with me. My last name's Williams.
And he's just really like, he does a lot of the physical comedy where he acts it out.
Right,
I
right.
think all four of
Falls
us.
over. Yes.
I think all four of us need to get together and we take Mike and get a pedicure, and then we all go to the comedy club.
Oh my gosh.
That would be so great.
One of the ones I seen him do recently was on Being Short and how his mom told him to eat all his vegetables growing up. He said, I ate all my spinach and broccoli and cauliflower. And he goes through the list. He's like, and I never grew taller. And my son's standing behind me. And I'm always telling him, you know, drink your milk and eat your vegetables. And he's slightly undersized. So he just looks. I just about died. So it's not going to help? Like, well, according to this guy, it didn't help much, but it might not be the same for you.
I think this
Oh my God.
this whole 2 hours has been stress relief for us because
Yes.
it's funny as heck right now.
It
I
is.
do wish we all lived near each other though, because it would be fun to get together.
Yes,
It would be fun. Yep. How much time we got left? Oh, we got 10 minutes. What are we gonna do for 10 minutes, people? How are you gonna plan ahead and not get stressed?
Oh my goodness. So I
Plan.
just realized that one of my next classes is adolescent counseling. So apparently God has some master plan for me.
Oh yeah. I already
Yeah.
told you were gonna be great at it. Told you don't worry.
I know my pastor told me, because when we found out that this lady had passed away, I was at church
Mhm.
and she said, you're probably moving into that spot. And I was like, nope, no.
And now you did.
Yep. And she's like, yeah, you know what happens when you say no. And
God
then
says
today my boss
yes.
came in and said, you know, Tuesday and Thursday, he's like, you're going to be doing adolescent group. And I wanted to be like, no, I'm not. But I was like, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to be obedient because it's come up enough times, ironically, that I can take a hint, Lord Jesus. I mean, aside from literally dropping me an email and being like, you're doing it, I get it. So
So this coming Tuesday and Thursday, well, next week, that's when you'll start.
right. So I'll do my first group this Thursday. So
Oh,
I'm just hoping that it's a good group of kids. I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad group of kids. I just feel like going through the grief of losing their current leader,
You're
you know,
right.
their facilitator.
You're gonna have a hard time linking with them. You're gonna have to find a
Right.
way to link
Yeah.
because
You
they
know
had
why?
trust with her.
maybe just processing them through that, telling them about grief and loss and how to cope with that. That can be your first group. And you
Right.
can have them go around and say something that, like a memory, a good memory that they have of her. Maybe they can do like a big card or something, sympathy card. Maybe that can be your first group.
I know that they went through today, like kind of processing grief
Oh,
with
okay.
supervisor, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to kind of maybe readdress it in a different way. Like you said, maybe a card or something, but also like maybe like a introduction type of exercise, since I will be new to them and they'll be new to me, something that'll kind of break the ice, maybe something fun and a little less work driven just that first time.
Yeah, I would also inform them that you're not trying to take her spot, you know, because they had a bond with her, you know,
Right.
and that you're hoping that you guys can bond in your own way also.
Right.
I think you should ask them what they liked about it. Give you insight into what they like about group.
Right.
But I wouldn't force them to answer if they don't want to.
No.
Right.
But you're going to
Oh,
be wonderful. You're so stressed out over this, and I don't know why, because you are a very easygoing person, and you got the Lord on your side, and He knows better than we do who's going to work well.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Qualifying the called.
Hey, I kept wondering how I wound up back in my same apartment after a year, after buying a house. Twice I got it back, the same apartment. So
Oh,
it's like,
wow.
okay, I'm thinking that God wants me in Pedro. I keep getting the same place back. So yeah, I think that's where He wants me.
Oh,
So, and I love it. I love being there. It's just a little cute little place. You know, it's just cute. It's on a cul-de-sac. Nobody bothers me. I'm right by the marina. I can walk to the beach. Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Tracy? I'm a little jealous. Just a little bit.
You can come visit. You're only in Arizona, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
get in your
Yeah.
car, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, you know, but I never have time to spend there because I'm usually at work or out here taking care of my boyfriend since he got in my motorcycle wreck and can't walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll have time to enjoy it one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. All right, guys. Well, we're 6 minutes in before the closing. I think we can shut her down.
All right. Thank you so much.
I had
Very
no idea what I was
informative.
doing, but thank you guys for helping me fill in.
No
All right.
problem.
Great
Have
when
a
we all
good
work as a
week.
good team.
have a good evening. Bye,
Bye.
Mom.
You. Go enjoy that massage chair.
Yes,
What's this?
yes.
Y'all gotta do it. Whoop, whoop.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye to Mike. How do I end this thing? End. It won't end. Doesn't like me.